Welcome everyone to this channel about SimCity BuildIt. Uncommon barbarity, subtle changes and some already announced improvements. That's the new update of the game. Let's see what the developers have done this time and how it affects the rating of this version 156.2. My name is Atlantis and I belong to the Isla Atlas Club. Let's get started. This is the major version 156.2, which coincides with the Mayor's Pass over Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And this Mayor's Pass has substance and controversy, a lot of controversy. The release coincides with development version 127.338 dated July 11, 2024 and which was made available on Tuesday, July 23, 2024. We begin the analysis by saying that there are no novelties as such. There are improvements, there are changes, but there are no novelties. We are in the summer period in most of the countries, and the big changes are usually left for September, even October. So we skip this section to start with the analysis of the Mayor's Pass. The Mayor's Pass is about the city of Rio in Brazil. And of course there is plenty to detail in important buildings. Catete Palace, the beaches of Rio, or the Botanical Garden. And here comes the controversy. In the Monument of Christ the Redeemer, a gigantic statue of 30 meters that embraces the city from the top, is an emblem of the city, and it would have been very curious to see it reproduced. But the thing is that instead of putting the Christ, they have put a llama. And here is where I see a lack of respect. Look, if instead of the Christian religion, it had been the Muslim religion, the Buddhist religion, whatever it was, this would not have been done, because basically there are no balls to do it. There would be a huge uproar, but since it is Christianity, the protests hardly exist, people keep quiet, and even the mockery seems appropriate. And in Spain there is a very famous saying, it's not whoever wants to, but whoever can. I do not know if in English there is something similar, but I think it is very well understood. And I say this because let's see if they have the holy balls to do this with the statue of Lord Murugan, which is a statue of the Hindu religion. I do not remember in the city of Malaysia where it is. They can't, because if they do, they will close the game in Malaysia, by the way, where there is an important hacker and cracker community of the game. But if we go to the Buddha of Tian Tan, to give an example where there is a representation of Buddha, the same thing. It is in Hong Kong, which has belonged to China for a long time. If they change the statue for another one, the reprisals are different from what the Christian community in the world would do. Oh, or we go to Japan, and they do the same with the statue of Sendai Daikanon. If they swap it for a llama, they're out of the game in that part of Japan, at the very least, for sure. And notice that I have not included Islam or other religions such as Judaism or Orthodoxy. I want you to see the repercussions with other options to the typical ones or the more radical options. And the repercussions would be bad. But since it's Christianity, it's okay. We can do it. They shut up. And to me, whether I'm a Christian, Hindu, Buddhist or whatever, respect is what the game is all about. A value, by the way, that is always promulgated at Isla Atlas and in all the associated clubs. That respect has been lost with this pass. In fact, I'm not buying the Mayor's Pass this time. And it will be the first one in a long time that I won't be buying. It would look bad to me if they did it with any other religion. I have known this for a month. I see that they are going to do this barbarity, but I say, well, they have time to realize it and to rectify it. Well, no. Oh my God. And there will be people who will say, but it is a game, the inhabitants are the Sims, and they do not have to have a religion like the real one. It is true, but then why do they reproduce Notre Dame, the Colonia Cathedral, or any of the temples there are? Buddhist temples, Islamic temples, Nordic temples, many of them very beautiful. I think they thought to be funny, but not funny. That said, instead of doing this, let them do it in any of the examples that I have put before, that I'm sure they are not able to do it. So indignant, they do it because they can. And I did not know well how to deal with this video because it could be controversial in itself. But those who commit the clumsiness are the developers. I just tell you what I see. Is it wrong? Yes. Are they going to rectify it? No. Are they going to apologize? No. Will there be any consequences? Certainly not. That doesn't mean that I don't realize the stupidity committed and reflected in the mayor's pass, as it should. Consider that no previous mayoral pass has ever fallen below a score of 8. If we analyze the pass itself, it is also mediocre. The cards couldn't be worse. There are 10 tentacle vortex cards, which if you want to know the only advantage this card has, you can see its analysis if you become an exclusive member of the channel, which by the way its only advantage is not warlike, and that's why I consider it, and it's in the recognized position for that, of the worst Club Wars cards. But it comes with the premium pass 40 cards of Reign of Dead Fishaster, a rare card which, judge for yourselves. Finally, if you buy the Premium Plus, you will get 10 more cards of Blissaster, a card that I particularly like, but that is expected a little bit more, a legendary card at least, and the rest as usual. My score on the Mayor's Pass is a 6. If we go to the event, well, there was an event at the beginning. Nothing special, but it exists and is appreciated. My score here is a 10. And we move on to the playability. Ladies and gentlemen, they have done it again. It is one nonsense after another. They have added yet another commercial building to make us gamers bitter. The old country commercial building is operational and it is not temporary. I should tell you about this in the game improvements section, which is where it belongs, but as it directly affects the playability, here it goes. So, game improvements and playability. I'm going to analyze them together, not only because of this commercial building aberration, which is activated at level 50, thanks Nubba for the tip, and that would have deserved a 0, luckily a couple of good things have joined together. First, the prices of the baskets of this last commercial building reach 6,000 simoleons, so that putting 5 on sale offers a direct income of 30,000 simoleons, which almost doubles the hamburgers that always offered the maximum value, which was a little more than 18,000 simoleons. But they have also paid attention to the multiple complaints that the prices of the products of the restoration agency, another of the new commercial buildings, which were garbage, and have had the decency to update them to something more coherent. Thanks to Mikel, from the Telegram group, for detailing the updated prices. The carved wood is sold by default at 2100 simoleons, although it can reach 2800 simoleons. Chiseled stone now defaults to 725 and 2300 at most. The wrought iron needing less resources. As Mikel said, it is logical that it is worth less. 420 per unit, reaching a maximum of 560 simoleons. The tapestry is sold at 1920 by default and 2560 as maximum. That leaves the stained glass window, which requires level 76 and upgrading the commercial building. Of course, these two corrections, which are good, with the addition of a new commercial building, the country store, is a barbarity that crushes the playability and is reflected in its score. It would have been a 0. Thanks to the correction of the prices, we leave it at a 2. This is regarding the playability. Regarding the game improvement section, there are changes in the game settings window. It is now a bit clearer. They have removed the rename city from the settings window and have redistributed a bit the menus that are now clearer. And also now a warning may appear in case you do not have linked your city to a Facebook or Google Play account, so that you do it and you cannot lose your city, as I have explained many times in video and on the website itself, islatlas.com. By the way, now to change the name of your city, just go to your experience level, click here and that's it. You can change it, both the description and the name of your city. I think it is more evident and clear now. What happens is that when we get used to certain things, it is difficult to change. Another improvement is that now the small cities receive a bonus of extra slots, coins to get, and something more, as long as you accept it. It is like a gift, in the form of a bonus for 8 hours, I think it was, although they can give you more or less depending on how long your city has been inactive. Is it decisive? Not really. Does it help? Not much, especially for how long it lasts. but it is true that it can encourage beginner gamers to keep playing, which I think is what developers are looking for. It's like, I allow you to play with 100 more slots of storage so you can see how cool it is to play like this, and then you come back to reality and you are incentivized to try to get it. They are small improvements, small incentives, that expand the zero deserved for putting the umpteenth commercial building I explained before, and together with the price updates as game improvements, the score grows slightly to a 3. And we move to defects and bugs in the other bugs section. But before we continue, I have to warn you that I'm going to explain a spoiler. If there is someone who does not want to know, skip this part of the video, about a minute or so, if they want to discover the things that will come in SimCity BuildIt by themselves and not because I tell them. Well, as I was saying, in the other bugs section, I have to mention that in the Google Store, the developers put wrongly, I don't know if it will still continue, no, I think not, that the Mayor's Pass was about Sydney. And this leads us to two things. They don't say this randomly, hence the spoiler, but it must be the next season coming up, or a very close one. They don't usually make a mistake and put a city at random by developing a whole text for that. The only thing they have done is to mistakenly advance the next pass. Not advance the pass, I mean they have advanced the information of the next pass. The problem is that this makes it already known what the next Mayor's Pass will be, and there will be people who would not have wanted to know. There will be people who do not care, but I am sure there will be people who do not. But another detail is that in Sydney's redaction they did not explain anything else, which indicates that, in principle, the next update, which will be a minor one, will not bring novelties either. Because usually when there is something substantial to mention about novelties, it appears in this text from the Google Store, and it was not like that. That does not mean that then they will put something last minute, but for the moment no novelties will come. So I have to score this section with a 0. And there is no more to analyze. There have been 21 total points, divided by 5 sections analyzed, giving a total score of 4.2 points. A disaster of a version, this 156.2, with a pass of mayors where, in my opinion, they have compromised. I only hope that those of you who are on vacation, which surely are many, do not get angry with this update. If you were bothered by the statue of Christ the Redeemer turned into a llama, leave a comment here, or on the game's Facebook page. Let's enjoy SimCity BuildIt as much as we can. See you at the next Mayor's Pass. See you at SCBI. Greetings to all.
Bajo las olas, Atlantis, Isla, despiertan, brillando con leyendas que el tiempo no apaga. Oh Atlantis, ciudad de sueños y de mar, junto a Isla, nunca